A very warm welcome back to Stone Valley for episode 30 with me, MrSealyp. The top part of Field 9 is requiring ploughing and liming, and I'm pretty sure when I do my harvest of soybean a lot of the fields are going to require certainly liming. I've got the Magnum just over there, you can just see it from the distance, is doing the ploughing part and I'm doing the liming on this side. I wasn't sure if it would run or not, but it seems to be working alright. It's just the angle up the top over towards the grass section that I'm going to have to probably take a bit more care with. So from the other side, this is what it looks like. I've just stopped there a second. I'm going to come up the hill just to get the border in, the headland. Again, I'm back to what I always say. I love watching the machinery. I love watching the animations and the movement of the vehicles, and I don't know, I can spend hours. Such a nerd. But it is cool though. Here's where we're at, or I'm at. I'm down at the south sell point. As I said in the last episode when we did the sheep, I was going to take on the contract on field 30 for canola, which I did. We're 84% complete. I haven't delivered anything and it needs to be delivered to the south sell point. That being said, the best price at the moment is the west sell point. So I'm going to deliver what I need to just to fulfill the contract. The rest will be sold at the west sell point. One of my harvesters has got just over 14,000 litres of canola still in it, which I'm going to collect on the way up to the west sell point. What has also just popped up is field 2 for harvesting, which I also said I would take on that contract because I want the barley for feeding chickens when we get the chickens, which I haven't got yet. I was waiting on that contract to pop up. The other thing that has also happened is that all of my fields for soybean are all ready to harvest. So field 2, field 3, field 6, part of field 7, field 17 are all ready to harvest. As is the contract for soybean on field 11, which I might well do after I've done the one on field 2. Field 9, I just showed you a little clip. That has now been ploughed and it has been cultivated. Not cultivated, it's been ploughed, it's been limed. So doesn't need ploughing, doesn't need lime. That's all just been done, but it will need another fertilising just to prep it. So once I've done the harvest on field 17, I can plough out the gap between the two, and I'm going to combine both of those fields. The grass is growing on the top part of field 9, and what I've also just started doing is I've just put in a new little grass strip landscaped in there, and what I'm now doing is ploughing the other part of field 7, which I did turn to grass, which I've decided to take back out of grass, back into crop. So 6 and 7 will be combined full. My grass will now be on field 8 and on this section of field 9. I hope that makes sense. I need to get a skid steer loader or something of that ilk for cleaning up the feed areas for the sheep and obviously the chickens when they start making a mess when I buy them. So that's where I'm at. What I need to do is unload this until contract's complete, then I'll take the rest up to the west sell point and I'll see you in a little bit. You can probably just see through there I've already prepped one of the harvesters. Well, actually I think all 3 of them are almost there, ready for starting the contract on field 2. Once this one's complete, I'll just take on the contract and get them rolling. So I've been doing rolling repairs as we go, so anything that's come up saying that it needed repairing I've just been doing as we go along. It's the kind of best way of doing it. I could take it back to the workshop, but repairs in the field are often necessary. I think we're going to have to move on to the second one, aren't we, before this completes. Yep, okay. Let's take the cover off of that one then. There we go, contract complete. We've got 29,000 litres left in here, and I've got 14, just over 14 in the harvester, which I'm going to go and collect. This will go to the west sell point to sell. And what it does mean I can do now, because I didn't borrow any equipment, I can jump straight on there. We can complete on this one and collect the 27 grand payment. I can take on the harvesting contract on field 2, and I can get those going. Fantastic. The soybean harvest on my fields, I'm not sure whether I'm going to start them now, whether or not to do the harvest contract on field 2, then do the harvest contract on field 47, because that is soybean as well, so I can always, anything excess on that, put into storage. The price is pretty good, it's climbing all over the place for soybean at the moment, so I might just harvest everything and store it. I still haven't started to deliver the sell the silage that I've got in the bunker silo at the BGA. What I'm going to do is sell half of it, keep half of it towards making total mix ration and stuff. That's the plan for that. It's all a bit kind of multitasking, planning ahead, thinking what's going to come next, what do I need to store where, you know. Yeah, we'll get there. So this harvester, like I say, has got some in it. I'm not going to take both trailers for this, I don't need to. So what I will do is pull over to the side of the road, put that in, and I'll disconnect the rear section of that so I can just take this. Oh, what am I doing? No, I'm not. Because the 29,000 litres is in the back one. That was stupid. Now I've got to take both. Oh well. What are we going to actually have? It's paying out 1,223, I think it is, at the west sell point. So we're going to make, well, we've got 43,000 litres, so it's going to be in excess of 43. Potentially, I reckon, knocking on 50 grand on top of the 27 we already made. So happy days. It's now 6:36. Various different preps are underway. I've got the Big Bud sprayer, Big Brute, sorry, spraying the bit of field 9. That's all ploughed, that's limed, it's good to go. I've moved 2 of the harvesters over to field 11. They've started on the soybean harvest contract that I've taken on. And as you just seen, I think you've just seen, yep, field 2 contract is complete, everything was delivered, and we have got 53,000 litres of barley from that contract. So whereas normally I will do a harvest contract complete, then sell all the surplus, sometimes I'll keep it, especially if I'm doing livestock. Works brilliant with pigs, because you can get all the various different crops you need by doing contracts for farmers rather than actually having to do it yourself if you don't want to. So what I'm going to do now, and I kept saying I was going to do it, then suddenly realised it was gone 6 o'clock, and I hadn't actually taken any of my silage out of the bunker silo here. So what I'm going to do, I'll park that to one side. I'm just going to do it this way. Then I'm going to get a full load of 70,000 litres, do that, do another full load, and gradually start unloading. I'm only going to do half of this bunker silo. I think it's got 600 something thousand litres in it. So I'm going to do about, I'm going to do about 300,000 litres into the BGA, and the other 300,000 litres I'm going to load into lorries and we'll store for total mixed ration. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm just thinking, like I say, I'm not going to do my soybean harvest until tomorrow. I know that's going in through the side of the lorry. If it's not connected, it will go in, but it just doesn't always look particularly pretty. So tomorrow, morning it'll be our soybean harvest, my soybean harvest across my own fields. Then it'll be prepping, and I'm going to be slurrying, so we're going to have a load of digestate. We're going to be buying the chickens because I've got the barley now to feed them, and the money has gone down a little bit because I have bought. What have I bought? A skid steer loader. My slot count is now sitting in red. It has gone red now. We are just under 1,200. So, but we've got what we needed. So, yeah, we're looking all right. So I'm going to carry on, fill this trailer up, load some into the BGA. So we will get another payment at midnight for the silage we're selling. And we are continuing to make digestate as well, so all is good. Although I'm just thinking that's probably our fault, the fact that just suddenly stopped. So what we'll do is jump in there. Yep. A couple of times recently I haven't had it happen very often, but the unload switches between unload to grain door. And I noticed a little while ago, I was doing one of the videos and I said, well, it's taking a really long time to unload, and I couldn't figure out why, and it was set on grain door again. Now I don't set them on grain door by default, so I don't know why it tripped out again, but it does sometimes. So I'm assuming if it tips all the way up, we should be okay. Right, harvester's got full grain tanks. I need to go over there and get looking at that. I don't really want to tie this up for too long because I think what I'll probably do is I'll do another, well, I'll do 30,000 because this will take 100,000 litres, and then I'll tip that in, then I'll free up the lorry and I'll get back over to doing the harvesting. I'll take the auger wagon over as well, and yeah, I'll get that done through the night. We're going to start losing the light soon anyway. I don't really want to be doing the harvesting, especially the harvest contract, during the dark. So yeah, that's my plan at the moment. We'll see what happens. I could do this with conveyor belts and stuff if I wanted to, but it's just easier doing it this way, especially when you've got one you can tip in with a trailer. The high ones, yeah, often it's easier to use conveyor belts, but in this case it's fine doing it this way. I'm more than happy with what I'm doing. Scary looking bit of kit in it. I've got my new skid steer loader. It's obviously a foreign import, as you can tell. It's a Bobcat. I don't care what the lizard labels say. It's a Bobcat. Got an 863. I've got a big bag handler for this as well, for moving the wool pallets when I need to. Like I said so many times before, I just prefer that to pallet forks. I've got myself a small bucket, that's just for cleaning out the feed areas. Like I said earlier, it's just going to be quicker and easier to use this, have this over here all the time for doing chickens, doing sheep, than it is to bring the wheel loader over from the dairy farm every single time I need to clean out or do any work. So what we'll do is put the beacon on, because we're going to cross the road. Is I'm just going to clean out the sheep feed areas. I've got a few bits of machinery that need some cleaning and sorting out at this point, but we've got a lot of floating sheep. They're obviously special ones. Look, those Suffolks, they're magic Suffolk sheep. Nice. Oh. Careful, careful, careful. Yeah, but I just, we can go off now. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, in all honesty, with the way these have all fit together. I could put a fourth one here and have it pointing into the middle as well at some point. I'm just thinking if we've got enough room. Yeah, I could move it over slightly, but I could put another one in. Right, feed troughs this side. As far as field 11 goes, we are about 77% complete on the contract, and the main bulk of field 11 has been cleared. So it's just the other side of the river now, or the bits the other side of the river that needs sorting. He's making a lot of mess. It's always very difficult when you're, I mean, look at that, it looks like a lot of mess, 58 litres, but it looks horrendous. And also, the percentage of cleanliness will always look worse if you've got only a few sheep and they leave 10 litres on the floor. It might say you've dropped like 15% on your cleanliness, and you think, oh, that's terrible, but it's not. It's just a percentage of how many you've got in there. It's not kind of overall. But this makes life a lot easier. I can whiz around, do a few things. The only thing with this one, it doesn't have a trailer hitch on the back, which, not that I particularly need a trailer hitch, but other wheel loaders are available. There are ones that are cheaper. Why is that? Oh, there you go. That are cheaper, take up less room, if you know what I mean. But I haven't used this one yet, and it's more American, I think, a Bobcat, isn't it? We do get them in the UK. I think personally I've seen more JCB skid steer loaders in the UK. We do get Bobcats. My brother was actually looking at leasing one. He's got another harebrained scheme. If you don't follow him on Man Cave Beer Adventures, he does Graham Makes stuff, and he's in the middle of making a trike at the moment. No welding, all kind of bolt together construction. A pedal one, not like a, I know for a lot of the US guys out there, like a Harley trike type sort of situation. This is more of a pedal bike, it's a very cool bit of kit. He's doing a really good job of it, but he's got a very big garden. And what him and his son have decided, there's a thing called a swimming pond. I'd never heard of him before, and to be honest, he hadn't either. They were looking at building a pool for the summer in the garden, but like they didn't want to go full. Pools can be really expensive. And he found this thing online. All the different people making them, and you put specific plants and things in there that keep the water fairly clean. It's no different to wild swimming at the end of the day when you think about it. But to build one with a nice enough size, he's going to go down a certain amount of depth. The earth that he digs out raise up the sides, so it'll be half underground, sort of submerged, half up, with kind of a deck at one end and that kind of thing. And they were going to dig it all by hand, and I said to him, you've got to look online, try and find somewhere to get a mini excavator, a Bobcat, something like that, skid steer loader, because in all honesty, what it will cost you for a day's rental, and you'll shift a load of dirt in a day, it's got to be easier than doing it by hand. It would take you so long. So he had a look, and they had Bobcats you could lease. They were out there. Good thing with this as well, what I can do, I'm going to go and grab the big bag lifter in a second, but I can park it here and leave it all the time. which is nice. I'll go and get the bag lift to bring that over. The wall pallets are spawning. There we go. One just there. Each one's got one at the moment, and we'll go from there. Pretty sure you can't get inside this, can you? Or can we? I know. Because it's had a recent update. That's just put the posts up, hasn't it, in the corners? Yeah. So I can see where the corners overlap. Seems to be stuff up here. Can I climb that ladder? Oh yeah. Ah, there we go. Now this is a funny story with this. On the description it says added more toilet roll, and I was talking to Foo Farmer yesterday because I mentioned it when I looked at in the kind of review, the mod review update. He messaged me back and said it's an in-joke with his wife, and it's when he first started making it was when all the current world problems began. And in the UK, I don't know if it was everywhere, but in the UK there was a run on toilet rolls. You couldn't buy toilet roll anywhere. Everyone went berserk, and you had to have toilet roll for some reason. And he put a toilet roll on the map initially. So what he's done is added more toilet roll. It's just a kind of in-joke, I think, but I like that. It's good, quirky little thing. I never would have noticed it. I probably wouldn't have even gone to have a look. So if you've watched this video, now you're in the know. You know something that other people don't. I'll be honest, I don't know, I suppose it's disappointing, I guess. The whole situation with regard to a lot of the licenses. I know, sometimes I know talking to the guys at Giants, before all the current unpleasantness, and I was doing the travelling for the Farmers and Metal League, and we were meeting up and chatting a lot, and a lot of the license deals and stuff they have with companies, sometimes they go to the company, and I'll be honest with you, not a lot of money changes hands, if any. Giants will try and do it as cheaply as possible. A lot of companies will come to them and say, look, can we get some of our gear in game? Which is great. Then sometimes after a year or two, a company will just say, look, actually, we're not that bothered now. Or they try and go back and say, we're going to put these back in game again, and the company says, we don't want to have it licensed anymore, or I don't know. It's weird, isn't it, how that happens? But yeah, so a few of the licenses they sort of used to have, because on FS19 a lot of the mods that we're getting now that are being converted over, we're getting Lizard versions of ones that we used to have the actual licensed product. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? So a lot of these now are being made under license by Lizard. They're picking up all of these very lucrative licensing deals and build them under license. Anyway, I need to get back. We are losing light, and I need to get field 11 finished. So the sheep are sorted. I'm not going to add any more water or feed in there. Be good overnight, no problem at all. Jeremy's having a great old time. According to Jeremy's Twitter, he's been doing colouring in and some drawing and using his sheep pen. Very good. Just for the record, I don't run the Jeremy the Sheep Twitter account. I don't run the MrSealyp's beard Twitter account. That's nothing to do with me. Mine's MrSealyp. MrSealyp has got one. And so is Silly G, but yeah, MrSealyp's beard and Jeremy the Sheep are not run by me. So yeah. Anyway, I've got work to do. Apologies for the lateness of the hour. As you've already just seen, we did alright at midnight. I've now, just past midnight, put in the last of the silage from the biogas plant that I'm going to put in. I've got about 349,000 left in the bunker silo. That's going to come over to the dairy farm or the other silo for storage for total mix ration. But the reason I'm here is our sell point has just gone to a very good price. All the other sell points are dropping, but the price for soybeans gone up. The contract I did on field 11, I sold the soybean. Well, no, I didn't sell the soybean. Provided the soybean for the contract, completed the contract, and I'm left with 52,270 litres from that contract. Now, I was going to put it all in storage, do my entire soybean harvest on my own fields, then sell everything. But the price went up to 2,039. Everywhere else it's dropping. It was sitting at about 1718, and it just sat and sat and sat. I thought, okay, you know what? I'll wait till the morning, then I'll sell whatever I've got. Then it started to go up. It then flatlined at say flatlined. Yeah, I suppose levelled out at 2,039, and I thought I'll sell it now rather than risk going through the night and then it dropping again, and we could get a really good price. So the 52,270 we got off of the contract on field 11, I'm now going to sell. So that contract, this payment, the payment from the silage at the biogas plant, that money's going back up again. I think we were only on 500 and something when we started off this episode, 600 and something maybe, but this could be a nice old payout. I hope it stays high here. 1,006, 594. I'll take that. So what I'm going to do now is spend some more of the night transporting the rest of the silage back from the biogas plant and putting it into my silos. And I will see you in the morning to crack on with my own soybean harvest. The magic beans of money. Like I say, hopefully the price stays nice and high here. Still a lot of people about for the time of night. Going very slowly as well, as they seem to around the Stone Valley area. .34 in the morning. The Bobcat is back out again. We're going to clean the feed area again before I get going on the beans. Today's episode is Bobcat and beans. That sounds like a new kind of like a kid's cartoon, isn't it? Bobcat and beans. Anyway, I know. Having another one of my episodes. Never mind. Yeah, clean the feed areas. Then I'm going to get over, and the 3 harvesters are lined up ready to go. As you can see, the wool pallets, we've got 1 full wool pallet at each point and partial on the next. So everything's going as it should be. These sheep are insane. They've been hanging around with Jeremy too long. They have special powers. Anyway, let's swing that around. I am now looking at options for reducing my footprint, if you know what I mean. It was suggested. It has been suggested about my tractor options, about potentially getting rid of the Challenger and getting another Bud. Which actually is a pretty good call, because the Bud's really high horsepower, fairly low price, and if I duplicate, then obviously, you know, the knock-on effect is tangible. So that is an option. I have been looking at replacing the entire fleet of harvesters. Don't really want to do that because I do like my case harvesters. But that is again a potential option. I don't know, I'm looking at a few different things. Also, thank you to everyone that commented about, and I know in this episode I'm showing you Bobcat and beans, but a lot of people did say just get the broom mod. It's really cheap, takes up very little storage, and is great for cleaning out the feed areas. I haven't really got on particularly well with the broom. Every time I've used it, I found it finicky. I've had this weird thing, every time I try and use it I lift backwards and I fly up in the air and all sorts of weird happenings. So I'm not a fan. I can understand people have been using it and have no problems at all. I'm going to get the soybean harvest underway, if not complete in this episode, at least a big chunk of it. But I'm also going to kind of set up a thing here. I'm going to set a thing. We've got field 3, bottom of field 3, all of that on field 6 and all that on field 17. What do we reckon that's going to yield for soybean? I reckon 300,000. I reckon that's a bit too much. 300,000 litres off those 3. Could be more actually. I'm going to stick with 300,000. What do you reckon? What are you thinking? Stick it in the comments. If you stick it in the comments before the end of the episode, and then I'll have a look through and see who guessed right. But anyway, I'm not going to necessarily know at the end of this episode, but we will move forward. A lot of stuff. The harvesters came back, and I have done a bit of repair work. My other question now is, I'm running multiple fertilising options at the moment. I've got the Big Bud, which runs fairly quickly, isn't particularly wide, hasn't got a large tank capacity, but I'm also running the Exacta, the Geospread, and the front tank on this. So I'm doing solid fertiliser and I'm doing liquid fertiliser. I do have all that digestate now. There's just over 400,000 litres at the moment, and I think I've got about 240,000. I moved another load last night in storage, but that's not going to last forever. I do have a load of slurry from the cows as well. Again, that's not going to last forever. I don't really want to give up on one of my fertilising options and say, right, let's do slurry instead and get a slurry spreader, and then find I'm going to run out of slurry really quickly. Look at that, that's a sight, isn't it? I like that. I could run out really quickly and then be in trouble, you know? So I'm a little bit, don't know what to do for the best. I'm going to do this one, to do a couple of headlands here, then set that off down one side. I'll get the next one running down the other side, and then the other one in the middle. We'll do the bottom part of field 3 at some point. I am going to be slurrying these fields at least once if I've got enough to do it all. So I did say I would do that after the next harvest. I'm going to be slurrying as my fertiliser choice, and that's what kind of made me think about the option with my fertilising situation at the moment. Don't know what to do for the best, really. Because when I do fertilising contracts, which make me good money, as you've already just seen, field 11, field 10, field 29 and field 11 all fertilised, that made me what, 150 grand, you know, and to be able to do that quickly with multiple options is fantastic. I don't know. I did think about just duplicating the Geospread system again like I had at the start. But then it means getting another tractor with a front 3-point link, and buying another tractor takes up space. I know a lot of people, there have been comments, people saying I still don't understand how you've got so close to the slot limit. Every Let's Play they've run, they don't ever come close. You can see all I've done, all the machinery I've got, all of the equipment I've got. I mean, there are some placeables that are probably eaten into it a little bit. I made the farm store shop kind of set up, which I guess has eaten into it. But it's all transparent. I've got nothing hidden. All that I've done is all here. There probably are options available that require less space that I could have done, maybe. I don't know. This isn't necessarily going to go very well because it's going to finish down this road with the pipe in, but I don't mind. Right, let's get the next one going. Thought it had unfolded. There we go. We're off. I'm going to have to go around that tree and then send it off because that's where it will hang up. Once that's done, I'll bring the third one in, we'll get that down the middle, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Yeah, I'm now thinking the farm shop's doing alright, but as far as kind of maximising profit, Don't know. Was it the best choice? Only time will tell. I mean, in all honesty, we're not far off, I suppose. Well, we haven't got chickens yet, have we? We want to make some money on chickens. I mean, let's be honest, have we achieved what we set out to achieve? Absolutely. Set up a large farm using large machinery on a large scale. I haven't done this, like I said, right back at the start since Washo. And I have and am thoroughly enjoying it. The multiple harvesters, all the, you know, right, that's going. Hopefully that won't stop again. Yeah, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Using the big old auger wagon. I don't often use auger wagons. Using the big tractors. I can't remember the last time I used a big bud. But you know, the Paralink hoe drill, all that massive, you know, the massive gear that I don't often go anywhere near. It's been absolutely brilliant using this stuff. But there will reach a point, not too far off, where I will have achieved everything I set out to. You know what, I could, like I did on Washo, I could just keep expanding how many cows I've got. Increase the herd, keep going, keep going. But then again, you have to ask yourself to what end, because you then at some point have got to stop and say, okay, what am I doing it for now? Because the position I find myself in, I can't really, unless I swap machinery out completely, like in their entirety, which I suppose I could do. If I decided I was going to change out the entire fleet of harvesters, I'm going to need 3 new harvesters, 3 new headers. You're looking at about 1.5 mil, depending on the harvesters I go for, to swap them all out if I wanted to go down that route. So I suppose you could say, if you're going to save up for something massive like that, a huge investment, but I can't buy anything new as such. I just don't have the space. So I couldn't buy I mean, I suppose I could get away with a 4th harvester, but I wouldn't be able to keep up with 4 harvesters. I suppose I could swap out my 2 lorries, go for something a little bit bigger. Just thinking potentially, because I've gone for these ones. I've gone for the Warrior Plus, which is fantastic. And I love that. If I want to go more basic, the standard Warrior there. But then if I went for a Hulk, that's 13. And a Roadrunner's 16. I'm not really gaining anything. Oh, I don't know. Just trying to work things out in my head. Anyway, right, we're off and running. Sheep are cleared, troughs are cleared. I did the sheep a little while ago. They were done just before 7 o'clock. The cows, sorry. The cows have been tidied. I haven't fed them, don't need anything at the moment. They're all looking pretty good, I think. Cows, yeah, productivity is great. I mean, look at that, manure 79,000 litres, slurry 73,000 litres, milk 15. And then those ones, manure goes over to the other one, slurry 66,000 litres, milk 11,000 litres. So I've got plenty of slurry over there, and I've got a full load of manure. If I wanted to sell a load of manure, I could sell a load up at the biogas plant, so I could take a full load and do that. And I could increase both of those herds even further. Just trying to decide really. I suppose the question to ask is, what do you guys think as well? Do you think, I mean, once I've got the chickens, I want to get the chickens, I do want to do some slurrying, as I've got plenty of slurry and digestate. What do you guys think watching? What's your opinion? What's your feeling on the whole thing? Should I be getting to a point now where this starts winding down and we move on again? There's not much more expansion I can do. I could buy more fields, certainly. I do want to plough out that field. I'm part way through ploughing it out. You can just see behind me the rest of field 7. So when we've done the harvest on field 6 and 7, we'll then extend that out. I want to do a massive cotton harvest. That was the other thing I want to do. So potentially, yeah, we've got a few more in us yet. Chickens, slurrying, cotton. I want a massive cotton harvest. Yeah. having just done an unload from one of the harvesters, I thought while I'm over it, let's grab the Magnum and carry on ploughing this out. What I meant to say when I was over sorting out the sheep, how much nicer it looks over there with grass across that entire field now, rather than part kind of turfed, part growing grass in the ground. The fact that it's in now, drop that down, let's crack on. Field 3 that we're harvesting at the moment, it's going to need liming, so once it's all done I'm going to slurry, but it will need lime before I do anything else with it. I don't think it needs ploughing, but it definitely needs a bit of lime on it. I suppose thinking about it logically, this was an extravagance as well. But the thing is, you can't live your life or play the game by that kind of I won't use that. I won't use something I want to. I won't use something cool. I won't use something with loads of extra bells and whistles, nice features. Because what if I get close to the limit or close to my storage, or no, absolutely not. Just go for it. Do what I'm doing now, just worry about it later, and then I can do a bit of fiddling around. The top part, the big part of Field 3 is complete. I have put 140,000 litres in storage already off this field. I'm just unloading these 2 harvesters. The third one over there is unloaded and ready to start on the bottom part of Field 3. Now is your chance to change your guess of how much you think we're going to get. We've still got Field 6/7, Field 17 and the bottom part of Field 3 to do. I said 300,000, I think I might be off with that. So 140,000 plus whatever we get on here. I think we're going to be looking at about 155,000, something like that. So that's half of what I thought we were going to get anyway. It's just whether or not the fields I've got left combined will add up to the size of this. We will see. Yeah, I'm going to put this straight in storage, get the harvesters over there, get cracking on that, but that will be on the next episode. What's that, about 140, what, around 160, oh, even more than 163,000 litres then. Yeah, that will be on the next episode. I will probably do a lot of it off screen. I may just finish it off on the next episode. Then we'll be looking at slurrying / digestating on the fields. But this is the end of this episode. Our new comic book hero duo of Bobcat and Beans will be making. I don't know. Maybe I should make a comic book. I told you I was losing my mind. But that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Have a think about the things I chatted about already. I am looking at all different options. I'm looking at very different ways I can kind of extend what I'm doing. I've got a few jobs already in my head. Often what happens is one job leads into another, and when I start to get to the point where I'm thinking, oh, okay, what do I need to do next? I'll start doing one job, then something else will become glaringly obvious. So like I said earlier, definitely digest that. I've got loads of it to use, so I'm going to use some. and I'm going to do cotton, but I don't know how big a cotton harvest to do though without it getting out of hand. But I do want to do some of that, and obviously then there's the chicken. So there's a bit more to do. We definitely have more to do. I haven't sold any wool yet. I certainly haven't sold any eggs yet because we haven't got any eggs yet. I haven't moved any manure yet, other than to put into the greenhouses. So we've got stuff to do. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the episode. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.